Hello, ladies and gentlemen, sunshines and sweethearts, and welcome to the next instalment, or the new instalment, of Chuffing Big Al Quick Shots. This is the smallest sibling programme to the Chuffing Big Al, so I stick it out here for a Chuffing C. And a quick shot today is what it's going to Chuffing B, because we're going to be doing the next instalment of the Chuffing Big Al miniature series. And up today, the contender coming out of the Chuffing Blue corner, measuring in at 4 inches tall, Chuffing Glen Island Malt. Now, I've taken it out of the bowl because I wanted to allow it to Chuffing breathe a little bit. I've had it in there for about 5 minutes or so, just to let it get up to Chuffing room temperature, you know what I mean? But if you can help me out about this, it would be much appreciated. I'm not going to lie to you and say that I've been like dedicating my entire existence to finding out about this Chuffing Malt whiskey, but I have dedicated quite a lot of time. Internet, books, there's not really a lot of light thrown up about this particular bottling. All I found out is it's a single malt whiskey from an unnamed Highland distillery. So it's very, very secretive. It's very, very intriguing. And if anybody at all can just throw a little bit of light on, you know, potentially who does make it and so on and so forth. It goes for about £38 a bottle. It's quite well respected. So I'm very, very intrigued and very, very interested to have a Chuffing snifter and have a little Chuffing taste, you know what I mean? See how we're getting on. Okay, so without further ado, just make sure that it's all come out there. We've got a couple more Chuffing drops there. Chuffing wasted, you know what I mean? It's expensive Chuffing stuff, mate. Right, here we go. Left nostril, right nostril, left nipple, right nipple, belly button. Hey! Right, let's Chuffing get involved. Let's see what we can Chuffing find out here. Before I look at it, quite a nice colour. Quite a golden, rusty, coppery, brassy kind of colour. It's, I was looking at it through my bloody sunglasses at first. I thought, it's a bit Chuffing dark. You know what I mean? But once you squint over the top and get a bit of sunlight into it, it's a nice colour. It's nice, all right, yeah. Right, let's have a proper Chuffing sniff now. It's pleasant. It's a very, very kind of pleasant. It's a little bit... It's quite light, I think. It's going to be quite light. It's a bit florally. And there's some sweetness there. It was like kind of toffee or... Let's give it a little Chuffing sip. Let's give a quick dance around the old Chuffing top, so let's see what we get out of it. Okay. That's quite interesting. That's quite interesting, especially in the finish. I would say things that kind of go against it for my particular taste, not in a massive way, but run slightly at detriment to it, for me, would be, it's quite thin. You know, let's check the tears. Yeah. There's no, because what you do is you swirl your whiskey around your glass, and it starts to fall in like kind of teardrops, almost like rivers back inside. And how quickly they disappear and how wide they are tells you a little bit about the thickness of the whiskey. And this one, I don't know if you can see it, but it's barely generating any tears at all. So it is thin. It don't just taste thin, it is thin. But on an interesting side, let me just have another sip before I give you a better analysis on it. But I know what I'm starting to think. It's that finish that I find interesting. Like I say, there's a fair bit of spice on it. There's a decent amount of spice on it. So it's quite woody. You can definitely tell that kind of cask or the barrel influence on it. But it's not particularly dark. It's a little bit sweet, but it's not massively sweet. I wouldn't say it's a massively sweet whiskey. A little bit dry, a little bit spicy, a little bit oaky. But it's that little bit of a flavour you just get at the end for me, it's like an average length finish. And you can still taste that little bit like kind of toffee, but it's almost like a tiny little bit of bacon. Yet it's not, it don't smell like it's a smoky one, but I could just taste a little bit of bacon. I've not had oats particularly to eat of that kind of ilk that's going to have affected it in that manner. But it's pretty good. Right, we're going to put that to one side. While we're slurping this, we did a few episodes back, we talked about chuffing Nana, the old bloody Nana Chronicles. So today I'd like to talk about the other half of that duo. This is my mum's mum and dad. So this is my Nana and my Grandad. And you can remember that story with the chuffing ham sandwich and the knife. I want to talk a little bit about me experiences, some of my experiences with chuffing Grandad. 6'3", chuffing pit ripper, and he did all sorts of other jobs. You know, he was well thought of down the pit, and they used to put him in charge of a lot. When they was investigating new ways of doing things, he tended to be put on them teams. So he was a smart guy. Quick story about him. He was smart. Had sweaty hands. And when it came to do it, his time of life, the 11 plus, where you did an exam and they decided if you were going to go this way or that way, his hands sweated. And it made a lot of the ink on his test sheets run and blot and not look maybe as quite as attractive as his chuffing could have done. But see, he would have been nervous doing that test. And apparently, for all intents and purposes, the examiner, he took one chuffing look at that paperwork and says, I ain't marking that. And knowing my granddad and knowing what people said about my granddad, my mum's dad, he would have passed that. And he would have had a better job. But it didn't do him too bad. You know what I mean? Let me tell you, he was 79, he had a chuffing good life. You know what I mean? Great wife, great kids, good life, good holidays and everything. So, right, yes, one of my memories, Grandad built, is that when me and our Scott, my bro, Big Scott, when we used to go down and visit sometimes, just two of us, we'd stay with his grandparents, get up about 8 o'clock in the morning, not too early, and he'd take us, say, right, we're going to go for a walk then, boys, and he'd chuffing set off, you know, we'd say goodbye to me Nana, we'd have a bite to eat, and then we'd leave. And his strides were so chuffing big, like Fleming BFG, you know what I mean? So for every one stride he's done, we were having to do about 5 or 6, basically running after him, like chuffing Pied Piper, you know. And we'd walk for a couple of hours, because he liked his bloody walking, I tell you. And he'd go, let's bloody nip in this chuffing pub here. So we'd go in pub, get sat down, and he'd get himself a chuffing. He weren't really a lager drinker, he liked his whiskey, like I said before, but he weren't really a lager drinker. So we'd come back with like Tetleys or chuffing Boddingtons or John Smiths or Sam Smiths or something like this. We'd have like Coca-Cola or something, butter, he'd get some butters or something. And we'd go, one of us or both of us go on, Grandad. Chuffing, sink it in one, going, don't need much encouragement with that chuffing first one. So he's chuffing, I'd be looking at bloody ceiling, mouth would be at full chuffing gate like a bloody hippopotamus. So sometimes I used to look at his mouth looking for chuffing tusks, you know what I mean? I've never seen his tail go like that though, at back end and turds were flying everywhere. I don't think he wanted a hippo. But mouth really opened up. And it'd take about maybe 7-8 seconds, chuffing pints gone. So he'd whack chuffing froth off his mouth, quick chuffing belch, straight back to the bar, because he wants another one, you know what I mean? Come back with chuffing nudging each other. Go on, Grandad, go for chuffing double, go on. Go for chuffing double. 60% of the time he'd do it. Maybe not quite as fast as first time, but chuffing, it'd be going down, you'd see it chuffing sinking, top of the liquids, bloody vibrate, oscillating like this as it's going down, it's chuffing clacky, you know what I mean? Another, a bigger belch, go back to the bar again. Now, maybe 2 or 3 times, in all times that we were doing this kind of stuff, we made him do chuffing hat-trick. And he basically just gulped down 3 chuffing pints of chuffing bitter in succession. But that was a rarity. He'd say, look, kids, I want to chuffing enjoy this one. Then we'd eat his butties and we'd set off again. Now, the distances that we used to chuffing cover, sometimes were bloody ridiculous. I swear blind one time, we'd been walking for that long, it was starting to get towards chuffing dusk. I'm sure I could see chuffing Blackpool Tower. And we set off from chuffing Doncaster. So what's that telling you? I'm sure I've seen chuffing Blackpool Tower. And we'd finally get back home and my nan would be like, chuffing, where you been? Bloody hell, chuffing, Bell, what's going off here? No, we just had a bit of a chuffing walk, you know what I mean? Right, another quick story about him is when I was about maybe 14, 15, something like this, I went out with my granddad. He took me to one of these bloody working men's bloody clubs. You know, we goes in, Gets chuffing sat down with boys around this bloody chuffing big table. Bloody 6 or 7 of them, you know what I mean? 7 or 8 of them. Chuffing pack of card comes out, starts getting dealt out. They're playing bloody Solo. Card game called Solo. A couple of hours later, they're playing chuffing Chewbacca, but that's a different story, you know what I mean? But they're playing Solo. My granddad nudged me. He says, get your son to bar. He says, get me a chuffing beer away. I says, I'll get me son a coat. He says, you won't. He says, you bloody won't, mate. He says, you'll have a chuffing beer with me. Well, get your son bloody up. Let's bloody lip. So I went to the bartender. Little kid, I mean, they were fairly big for my age, but you know what I mean? You could tell I weren't 18, you know what I mean? So I goes up to the bar, and I said, 2 pints of bitter, please. And the bartender says, who are you with? I said, it's my granddad, Ken. Oh, yeah, all right. No questions asked. Chucking straight out with bloody beer across, took them back. Granddad's bloody throwing it down. He's not racing like with me and our Scott with that previous story, but he's drinking while I'm trying to keep chuffing up with him. Went up again. Another 2 pints. Went up again. 3 pints in. Went up again. 4 pints in. Last one, he had a 5th pint, and I said, I'll just have an half. So I had 4.5 pints of beer. I never sucked beer like that before. You know, at that age, you know what I mean? I went at home with my mum and dad chuffing, flaming, slurping down 4, 5, 6 pints of beers on the night side. You know what I mean? I was drinking bloody Lucasade and Dr. Bloody Pepper and 7-Up and Sprite and all that. Lucas, I like shite. And then when we finally left, as soon as the air hit me, I'm chuffing, wanting to stagger about, I'm wanting to bloody slur, I'm trying not to stagger, I'm trying not to slur, because I feel like I don't want to let him chuffing out. He knew I was chuffing rat ass, he knew I was pissed. Gets back to the house, man, what have you done with him? Bloody hell's chuffing bells, you know what I mean? So what's he been slurping? So one last story I'd like to tell you about him is when we were all still living, let's have a quick bloody drink. We get dry as a bloody sandal here. It's nice. Yeah, final one. When we were still living at home, and we used to go abroad, we had 2 cats. There was my mum and dad, me and our Scott. We had 2 cats. Used to usually put them in a cat there. We were stressing cats out, you know what I mean? So, got to the point where my mum persuaded my granddad to come through to the house to basically look after the cats, you know what I mean? But she'd fill the cupboards up with food, the fridge up with food, freeze up with food, snacks, crisps, nuts, pork scratchings, all this kind of stuff, apple chuffing pies. Freezer were filled out, burgers, chips, pizzas, bloody joints of meat, all bloody potatoes and carrots and all that. There'd be a crate of beer and there'd be a full bottle of chuffing whiskey. Now, for some reason, my granddad quite liked doing this. You know what I mean? So we went away, and he had his little chuffing 5, 6, 7 day party, just on his own as well. Away from, not that him and my nana were compatible and they got on, but I think she used to nag him a little bit. He used to have an hearing aid on. Half the time he had it switched off. He told me. It's like, he said, I knew when to nod. He says, I knew the right look. She stopped talking, just keep chuffing nodding, you know what I mean? Say yeah, or no, or maybe, you know what I mean? Just throw something in there, just to keep her pacified, you know what I mean? So I used to quite enjoy, I think, the peace and quiet, watch some movies, eat plenty of food, get chuffing pissed. We came back, and he cleared all cupboards out like a bloody plague of locusts, you know, all bloody corn had gone, you know what I mean? And he's asking us about holiday and all this kind of stuff. We were answering him and seeing if he's had a good week, and he had. But we had these old seats in them days, and it were like wooden slats at the bottom, wooden slats. And big fella, and because he'd eaten and drunk so much as well, he got fatty, he put about 2-3 stone on, hadn't he, a week? He put a lot of weight on. Went to sit down, completely disappeared straight through chuffing slats. Knees were up by his chuffing chin, his eyeballs. They were like out on flaming stalks. They looked like chuffing dinner plates. You know what I mean? My mum weren't too happy. He says, oh, chuffing get you round, I bloody feed and bloody water. And this is how you repay me. Chuffing smash me bloody furniture up, you know what I mean? But that's what happens, isn't it? That's family life. So, I hope you enjoyed the little chuffing whiskey tasting. Get it? Yeah, it's one last little bloody sip. It's not a total plain Jane, but it's not bursting with flavour either. It's just a nice little cheeky session whiskey. Get your son sat down by a bloody fireplace on a cold winter's night with some chuffing peanuts and one of them. You're in for the chuffing treat. Now, catch you later. Next episode will be the Chuffing Big Al show. Be there or be Chuffing Square or Hexagon or bloody Pythagoras' Chuffing Knackers. Have a great day and a great life. Catch you later. See you later, sweethearts.